Welcome to the greatest of the greatest. A podcast that you never knew you needed. With interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice. Asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them. You are listening to Full Buddy Cast.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to the episode of Full Buddy Cast Presents. Now, this is a little bit different, right? We get some random guests on here, and I'm excited to have him back. We left you with the cliffhanger, but before we get into any of that, let's go through the sponsors. Let's get that out of the way. We love them, and let's go through the Patreons as well. Sponsors, go down to Cole Street Brewery, 1627 Cole Street, Enumclaw, Washington. Tag yourself in. Say hi to Sean. Show him that you tagged yourself there with the hashtag of FullBuddyCast, and he'll give you 15% off of your beverages. Also, go to Bordeaux Wine Bar. Mention the podcast. Also, tag yourself in. You may have to talk to them a little bit. Say, hey, $2 off. $2 off your first flight or drink. Definitely hit up Enumclaw Mazatlan. Say hi to Andy. He is the owner, manager there, and mention the Full Buddy Cast. He'll also hook you up as well. Also visit my man Dan Coote Snyder over there at O Chef Country Kitchen. Find him on DoorDash, but he's also in town in the Claw parking lot. Got delicious stuff. You can get the Bentley Special, which is a meatloaf panini sandwich named after the Garage Night guys here. Also, check us out on Patreon if you want to support. $5 a month, nothing huge. You can go big if you want. But we've got Kellen Hall, Holly Graff, Adam Kenny Art, Seth Loop, Cassie Spencer, Amanda Keating, Shekinah Sarver, Jared Skelly, Homer Robertson, Ben Illman, Jamie Roberts, Jamie Kenny, Apollo Doodle, Jackson Syduk, Sasha Carey Lynn from Edison City Ale House in Tacoma, Washington, Thomas Savageau, Councilman Anthony Wright. We got Cameron Stratton, the Real Estate Guru, Katri Hoban, Homer the Vet, Jackie Van Hoof, and Dan Coote Snyder. Always mess that one up. And thank you very much for supporting. Join the Facebook page. I Instagram if you want, but I don't really hit that up. But he's back, the man, the myth, the legend. Excited because I became Facebook friends with him. I gotta get a little bit into his whole realm of life a little bit more. Got to see some memories. He shares memories. He's got his own page even. He's got some fan page out there. We've got Billy Custalow, Nikki St. Custalow, Painted Horse, sitting here ready to rock and roll.
I just wanted to show you a couple of the just childish, immature purchases I made as a single bachelor. I can do these things, man. I'm so proud of myself. So I have a sick fascination with Deadpool and Rick and Morty. For anyone out there that's listening that cares, if you're down, you understand. Wubba lubba dubba dub dub. But yeah, Walmart gets me every time, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like I go to Walmart after I go to Planet Fitness, I'll hit the Walmart there,
Yeah.
And they got the toy section. So I got a grandson, another one on the way. I'm not stupid, man. I'm prepping. I'm stocking up now for all the birthdays and Christmases ahead of time.
Yeah.
So when they come, I'm not out there going, shit, I've got to spend $300 on Christmas. I'm like, no, I've got I got all these marked down ones. I'm just gonna scratch the little reduce sticker off. They'll never know.
Yeah.
But I'm always walking around the clearance aisle for the men's stuff, and every now and then they'll have a cool Deadpool shirt or hoodie or what have you. And then I, go to Kohl's for my, my cologne, and happen to find a Deadpool hat.
There you
go.
go.
Dude, I am just styling this week on Deadpool stuff.
I was say,
Rick and Morty and Deadpool stuff is just
that's who you are.
That's
junior high,
I'm
through and through.
I'm such a child. Man. Just
Well, we had you last week.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give a little bit more, or not last week, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute, huh?
It's been a bit. I like it, though, because, had quite a few, I basically had to do a little more research on you. And I got to tell you,
Just
water.
See if I was bullshitting or not.
Not so much that, but just kind of see everything that you've done. I got to tell you, the Water Boy Sports Show.
Pretty legit, right?
You reshared a YouTube video, and I would like for you, if you are able to, now on the Full Body Cast Facebook. I have to approve posts on that.
Yes.
But if you put that on there, don't worry that it says, hey, wait for this to be approved. But that NCAA video from the years back where you had the YouTube, it was a YouTube video of you guys choosing your NCAA bracket.
Oh, right.
I think you did it like an hour before, all that.
Right.
But it was so legit. It was so cool to see. It's the type of stuff that like, it's like you had the green screen, I think, in the background.
Yes.
The whole thing was legit. You had a nice, beautiful female that was like introducing, it's a
Jamie
water
the
boy
girl.
sports show, and it was
godsend to the show.
way cool. And anyway, I just wanted to share it, but I also wanted you to share it.
I will. So Stock Car Scott, my friend that told you as a NASCAR, you see him in the videos, obviously. He's the guy that's doing all this. He's the guy that's editing it, posting it, because he and I had a talk. Like I said, there was some stuff that I said and did back then. Some of it where I was completely sober and probably just pissed off, and some of it where I was in the first days. I'd say 04, 05 were the first days. What you're seeing there is 04.
Okay.
I'm in the midst of it, but I'm not quite gone. I'm still married.
Okay.
I'm still working. But I've had back injuries and a ruptured disc in my neck, C5-6 on the left side. God, that's anybody that's ever had a ruptured disc will tell you, dude, it's excruciating. And when it's in your neck and it goes down your arm, you just want somebody to cut your arm off because it hurts so damn bad. So anyhow, the Sacklers had me right in their crosshairs, man. I didn't get the Oxycontin treatment. I tried Oxys and they just never stuck with me. But boy, Percocets and Valiums. And then, I had this, God rest, I'm not going to name the doctor. He worked at a sports clinic over in Ballard. I just gave the name of the clinic. Anyhow, but he was a wonderful doctor. I love the man. I doubt he's still in practice at this point, but at that time, and I think he was doing, in his professional opinion, the best care for me.
Sure.
And he knew my dislike of the pills, but also my propensity to really enjoy them. You know what I mean? It's like getting in a hot tub. It hurts at first, but I'll get used to it. And I did. I had to come off of the opiates 3 different times, but one of the things he gave me, and I did this going through my divorce, and I was still on the air at this time.
It's more in the mic, dude. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still married at this time. And I didn't realize this. I found out in hindsight later. I found out as I'm going through all these injuries and the pain. My wife was diagnosed. Ex-wife now. A couple years after we split up, I guess she was diagnosed with MS. So I'm like thinking to myself, God, because she was hurting all the time, and I'm thinking, wow, that would explain a lot of what was going on with us. Is both of us were in a lot of physical pain. And we didn't have, the other one didn't seem to understand because we were in so much pain that we were trying to say, yeah, I'm hurting too.
Right.
And it just seemed like it was,
you got physical pain, you got mental stuff, the whole thing. It's just,
But what I was going to say is my doctor, so I went out as she and I are separated and the divorce is being finalized. I go out and I get a motorcycle. Midlife crisis. Not really. It wasn't a midlife crisis. It was just an old biker and long-haired rocker finally being cut loose and, back on the street again. But I went and got a 2000 Big Dog Wolf motorcycle. That might show up. In fact, that might show up on some of the water. On the water, it'll probably show up here. It'll be spring, summerish of 05 when Scott starts, because I bring it into the studio one time and I park it over there in the studio when Jamie does her little sexy numbers and stuff on it. But yeah. My doctor, though, while I'm getting this $25,000 custom motorcycle, riding around on it, I'm taking 30 milligrams Percocets in the morning, couple of Valiums, and he's giving me this new medication he wants me to try out. Now, it comes in a patch. It's 100 micrograms, and he wants me to cut it into fourths. And he says there's 7 in a box, so if I cut it into fourths, that's 28 days, that's 4 weeks. And he just wants me to give it a shot. But don't do any more than a quarter of a patch a day. Sure, doc. Go home. Think anything of it. Slap a whole patch on. Ride around with that. The Percocet, the Valium. that patch that I was wearing was called fentanyl. 100 micrograms of fucking fentanyl slapped on my chest, transdermically, just seeping into my body along with the Percocet. So, dude, to say that I was sitting there tickling God's chin, I was right in the palm of his hand, just warm and fuzzy. I tell people, I'm like, when you're on it, man, bro, there's no better feeling.
Yeah.
It's and I've talked to heroin addicts, said the same thing, dude. When I was high, man, everything was just awesome. You want to do everything, right? When you're off of it, everything sucks.
Yeah.
And so I came off the opiates in the jail cell up in Skagit County in 08. That's another story for another time.
Well, that's what I'm noticing. So
yeah, but the show kind of like what you're seeing in 04. I'm sorry, it was the back to the original thought was you're seeing just the beginning. You'll see me deviate from the game plan, and it starts affecting everything outside of it, right? And unfortunately, it was such a new thing for everyone. It was hard because being drunk, people can see when you're drunk,
right?
But when you're just high on opiates, man, like people can't really see it. And when you're in pain, and the thing is the opiates don't really get rid of the pain; they just allow you to sit there and deal with it because you're just like you're so looped. But you become something else. And that for me, that's dangerous, man. I don't need the demons that have been locked away in my mind to be getting unleashed. So yeah, it was, it's what fortunately you're seeing, and thank God for Scott for the recordings and all, is you're seeing when we were really hitting on the cylinders, man, and on all cylinders.
Dude, it was entertaining. And that's the two things I was going to say there is that the first one is the entertainment, like you're an entertainer. Now, I've known that for 3 weeks now after joining your Facebook, just you even. You're there, you're pumping out stories that are interesting, you're sharing, and that's the other thing with memories. I kind of gave you a hard time. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's not that you live different lives, but you can see like your hair, like, compared to now, I mean, you've always looks like you've been fairly always in shape. You're very in shape now, like it. But then, like you were there with your motorcycle for a bit. You're there with your dog for a little bit. You're there with both of them a little bit. Like you could just kind of see through the years. Not saying that you're reinventing yourself each time.
Oh no, I'm like that one picture I put up, that collage. I said Chameleon.
Yeah,
there's a guy at work where I work who told me, he says, man, every time I see you, you look different. He's like, you've had like 7 different looks in the time that I've seen you. Yeah. And he goes, I don't know how you do it, man, but you change your looks. And I probably shouldn't be saying this because if I ever have to run from the feds, man, I don't want them to know.
They're not going to find
I don't want them to know I'm Peter Sellers out here. You
have
just
so
like
many
the man of
aliases.
1,000 faces. I'll be giving away my gig here. Hey, that's Jason Bourne. So, I don't know, man. I've been very blessed. Something I thought of. God, I'm glad I said that. Something I wanted to say before we got rolling into the stories and all. I want everyone out there to understand. I was over here the other day, by the way. Man, I tell you what, the more I come out to the Claw, the more I love this place, dude. I swear to God, I could see myself living on a farm, pressed up against one of those mountains out there, with a long road into my property that says, if you don't belong here, ain't no excuse for you coming down this road if you don't belong here. Right. That kind of property, with horses and cows and, and a good woman who likes to wear jeans and cowboy hats and boots just like me. Man, I got a dream. But I tell you what, Enum Claw, boy, I love it out here. And I got invited to church, so I went to church Sunday.
Nice.
Grove Point over here. I don't know if you know.
Grace Point?
Or Grace Point. Excuse me, Grace Point. Grace Point. Do you know the pastors, the Rainwaters?
Yep.
Okay, so you know Kiona and Heath.
Yeah.
So I got to meet them and their son Justice.
Yeah.
Man, if that isn't the gorgeous blonde woman with your tall, dark, and handsome husband. I mean, could you be any more perfect? And the son just looks like dad. Yeah. Just 6 foot forever and handsome and muscles. I'm just like, man, get out of here. I don't need this competition. Yeah. No, absolutely awesome people. Growing a church out here that I found just for the short time that I was there Sunday, man, I found just an excellent communion with people. Like I felt welcome. I felt just good. People were very kind and welcoming there. Talked to the pastor and all for a moment. But yeah, it's just interesting because I was telling her, I've got my dad and my grandfather tattooed on my back, the Native American tattoos. And I tell people, I lift the shirt up and I go, that's my dad and that's my grandfather. Both of them Southern Baptist ministers.
Yeah.
And people just look at me and go, wow. And I'm like, I know Native American, the blonde hair and blue eyes are usually a dead giveaway, but I have to tell some people because, not everybody's picking it up, but smart ass, whatever. But yeah, I came out here and what I wanted to say in relation to that is as I dispense these stories and impart these experiences and hopefully the wisdom, I hope no one out there ever, and if need be, come back to this episode, to this moment right now, mark the time if you need to, but come back to this moment right here and hear what I'm saying. Everything I'm saying, all praise and glory to Jesus Christ and God Almighty on high.
Yeah.
Everything I do is through him.
Yeah.
I am here because of his plan that I have no clue what it is, but by his grace, I am here because I have friends that aren't, family that isn't, and I can tell you, I feel like I have borrowed all of their time and taken it for myself because, boy, I should have been dead several times over in this life. But I am not saying anything to glorify myself.
Yep.
Some of the things that I will tell you folks is not to gloat. I'm ashamed of some of it, embarrassed of some of it, and some of it I just shake my head because when you're 20-some years old and you got a lot of money and a lot of people kissing your ass and you're a good-looking dude in a rock band and all that other stuff that goes, the trappings and all with the 80s and 90s lifestyle of rock and roll. A lot of guys out there got stories.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you mine. But I'm not saying it to say, hey, look how cool I was.
Right.
Look how I'm not proud of some of the things I did. Some of the people's lives that I affected in a bad way, never going to be proud of that. But I don't want it to be something that hopefully people will hold over me like, it's who I am today. It's far from it. And I'm hoping that people can listen to these stories and relate to it or go, holy shit, I've never done anything close to that. Or just be like, hey, 15-year-old son of mine, come here. I want you to hear this guy. Listen to what he says.
Right.
All right. He's going to save you a lot of trouble if you listen to what he's telling you. Maybe that happens. And like with the church, with my stories, and with the blood of Jesus and that salvation is if I can bring one to the right place, to the right source, then it was all worth it.
Yeah.
And so if I can save one soul, if I can save one young man or one woman from repeating the same dumb shit that I did, right. Because I know it's easy to see things from outside with a glisten and a sparkle until you get inside and realize there's dust.
Yeah.
And there's cockroaches in the back, and
yeah.
And it's cold in the winter, and there's cracks in the roof. But all that glistens is not gold. All this,
right.
So all that glitters is not gold.
Well, I just let me jump in there too.
Sure, absolutely.
So as a fellow Christian, completely agree with you. I saw the post the other day too on Easter. Thought that was way cool. And so, it is, sometimes you can get caught up in it. It's where when I say caught up in it, it seems like you're glorifying something that, shouldn't be glorified, but it's a part of the story. And I remember when Mel Gibson made Passion of the Christ and he was being interviewed by Jay Leno, and Jay Leno's like, dude, like rated R movie here. What's going on? And he's like, dude, the Bible is a rated R book, man. You're dealing with a lot of stuff, and we live rated R lives. Yep. And we're, we're not PG, we're not G, we are R-rated people that have done R-rated things, and that's why we need Christ, and so I completely agree with you. I'm on the same page, and as we go through the stories that you have, that you share, there's going to be some laughter. There's obviously going to be a little bit of, there's going to be probably some prideful moments, and so forgive us for that as we get into that. There might be some lewd conversation at times as well, and some terrible jokes. We are the Michael Jordans of jokes. We shoot like LeBron almost. He's like 43 missed shots away from breaking the record of all time missed shots. Did you share that, or did someone else share that?
No.
So.
No, I don't share much about LeBron.
Yeah, the more you shoot,
people wouldn't like to.
the more jokes you tell, the more that they fall on their face, and
Michael
so
Jordan's the GOAT.
he is the GOAT. Agreed, 1,000%. Kobe second, and then
I'll go with that. But let us never forget that. Was it Wilt Chamberlain? Wasn't it Wilt that basically brought the dunk to the game?
Yeah,
they couldn't stop him. They would just hand him throw him the ball, and he would just stand under the rim and just dunk it. And so they tried to change the rules. I mean, when you're so good, so dominant in a sport that they have to change rules to accommodate the other players because you're the 15-year-old brother picking on the 8 and 6-year-old little brother and sister, and you're just out there dominating them and smacking them in the face with the football and all, and calling them names. And I mean, it's passage, we know, but it's still. I mean, it's the good thing about being the big brother too. Yeah. Hey, speaking 100%. Of big brothers, you see, I'm going back to Virginia to.
I saw that.
See my little sister get married.
Explain that situation because I remember.
So
you
let
said
me tell you a little story about. So I'll tell you a story about Maria. I did.
Yeah.
I think I said this about. So Pharrell Williams.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy to sing along if you feel.
Yes.
So happiness is the truth, baby. So Pharrell put together a thing, and this was before COVID hit, and it was going to be a big thing. And he wanted to put together a super choir, and he did. And I got to see her. The one and only time I ever watched that sellout, spineless, nutless, gutless piece of shit, Jimmy Kimmel, was when my little sister went on his show with the Pharrell Williams, with Pharrell and his choir, and he called it his super choir. I think it's gospel super choir. But anyhow, she's one of the 25 sopranos, and my little sister Maria buddy, if you hear me sing, kick back, you should hear her and my dad. Like the two of them doing gospel music is just. I listen to them and I just feel humbled, man. Both of their voices, and I mean, my dad is gone. He died on Mother's Day. In fact, so the anniversary's coming up, so it's a bittersweet day. Have your father pass away on Mother's Day. But we have CDs of him and recordings, and I'll have to have Maria post some. But just incredible. Just the both of them together when he would sit down and play the piano and sing, and she would sing along with him. And he's got Christmas CDs and gospel music CDs, and that's how I met my dad. Like I'm about 5 years old, Richmond, Virginia. Long story, a bastard in Virginia, and I went to meet my dad, and he was playing at a church called Open Door Baptist Church. He'd stand up on stage, and he had a guitar in his hands, playing guitar and singing gospel music with his brother and his sister and his niece, my aunt's daughter, my cousin. But Uncle Del had joined the band later, so they were originally called Victory Trio, and then Uncle Del had joined, and so they never changed they didn't change it to Victory Quartet. I think there was already a group called Victory Quartet, so they stuck with Victory Trio. But anyhow, when I met my dad, he was already a gospel musician playing at a church and recording. Got to go on TV, the WTVR Channel 6, which is like the oldest television station in the South, right there in Richmond. So, my first recollections of my father, him holding a 1956 semi-hollow body Gibson Les Paul. Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, yeah, nice guitar. And him playing that guitar and singing. So, people like me, are you a singer? Yeah, I'm also good at getting up on the pulpit and preaching too, but I tell them, it's just in the blood, man. I've got that music and I've got that ability to speak on a sermon, or whatever's on my heart. I've got the tongue. But our tribe is Native Americans, a lot of them didn't keep a written history. A lot of them kept oral histories. So that's why you can sit around with Native Americans sometimes and they'll tell you stories until the sun rises and falls a few times, and they still have more to tell you. But we were tasked with keeping our history. So, common amongst, you come back to Virginia with me for a powwow or homecoming and get on that reservation, and man, you can fill your whole day just sitting around, just listening to one person and another person tell you stories about, oh yeah, so-and-so back in the day, and then, oh yeah, so-and-so, their great-grandfather was him, and he fought in the Civil War, and blah, blah, and just details of stories, and that's who we are. That's, we're a people of the river, and we're a people of the tale, people of the story. So, like I said, it's a genetically ingrained thing to be able to sit back and tell stories. But yeah.
So your sister, there's a point where you were going.
Oh yeah. So I'm sorry. Going back there, she's getting remarried, and like I said, she's one of the sopranos on the Pharrell choir. I'm sorry, I keep moving away from the microphone.
Okay.
But I know I should know better than this. I've been television, radio for all these years, and I keep walking around like I'm an amateur. I'm new. I don't know what to do. I'm Joe Dirt. I'm new. I don't know what to do. I love that line.
That's
dude.
A great one. I use it all the time.
Oh,
too.
do you?
Oh,
See,
yes.
I told you, I knew we were going to be good friends.
Yeah.
No, my daughter's mom, she came up. She was living with me for a little bit over in South Seattle, man. And this place that I had, there was a stretch road. Now, back before they put the light rail in, you could turn around that road and go around. It's kind of a shortcut, right? You could bypass all of the traffic and everything right there at Martin Luther King and Henderson. And anyhow, after it got blocked off, where I was at was pretty much my driveway was a turnaround because it was the Chief South Trail ran right up across my driveway, and there was a church down here. And anyhow, people would come up and realize, shit, I can't go there, and they'd turn around. And so anytime they would do it, and I have these big old, just single pane, old ass windows, man. It's just I just wore lots of coats and layers. I couldn't even bother with the heating bill. I was just couldn't afford it. But I had those windows, right? So I would lift them up in the warm weather, and I would lift them up and just let the air blow through the place, and it was awesome. And people would pull up there, and I would just yell out the window, I'm new, I don't know what to do.
As they're turning around.
And my daughter's mom is there. She's new. She's like, what the hell is he doing?
What is he doing? Saying?
And she comes out, and she's telling me, she's like, what are you doing? And so I told her. And so then we ended up watching Joe Dirt, and she saw she's laughing.
So she knew.
And so then one day I'm in the back room, bedroom, or the bathroom or something, and I hear her, I'm new, I don't know what to do. She's yelling it out the window, and people else just like, I'm like, Greg, way to fill in for me there. Yeah, I love Joe Dirt, man. It's a classic. It's a great movie.
Sister.
So sister's going to get married. Yes, I know. Back to Maria. So yes, my little sister Maria is getting remarried, and really nice guy, Dan Neifeld. And I got the invite. I struggled because my daughter's going to be having my second grandson, Julio, and his name's going to be Julio Rodriguez, folks. I'm just saying.
Is it true?
I swear.
Rodriguez?
Julio Randall Rodriguez.
That's amazing.
But his name's going to be Julio Rodriguez. And no, they did not do that it was just the name that they picked for him. The middle name is for Victor's brother, Randall, who's been a very important part of his life and everything. So in honor of him, he named him Randall, but the first name Julio, they just went through a lot of names because Tanakh is my first grandson. That's Mashika for son. It's like firstborn son or whatever. It's kind of like Ichiro is in Japanese. Okay. So anyhow, Tanakh is my firstborn, Tanakh Manuel, and then Julio Randall. But I'm like, I got a Julio Rodriguez.
You got plenty of gifts you can bring him.
He's just destined to be a baseball star. But yeah, so my little sister is getting married, and I didn't want to miss the birth of my grandson, but I talked to my daughter, and she kind of explained to me what's going on. And so it looks like I'm going to be able to skate out, take a few days off of work.
Where do they live at?
Virginia.
So
I want to say near Richmond, but not, because it's just easier to tell people Richmond because if I start naming off little places like, Colonial Heights, Petersburg, Prince George, West Point, Route 30, King William County,
So you're braving the skies. You're getting on a 737.
Yeah,
Max.
no, my friend, no. American Airlines went through them because I have an American Airlines card that I never use. So I was like, here, let me go ahead and use this card, get some miles on here, and see if it turns anything. I haven't flown since before. I think went to the powwow in 2019. That was June. So I haven't flown in almost 5 years. But I went to American Airlines and got a ticket through them and checked to make sure I'm taking red eye out.
Yeah.
Thursday night, and I'm looking and I'm like, Airbus, cool, done. And then another one was like, I think it was, it's either some kind of Ermbauer or Embraer, some shit like that. And then there's not Canadian, it's some other weird, but it has a couple of different funky like jets, for little short hops.
Yeah.
Because I'm going from Richmond to Charlotte, or I'm flying from Seattle to Charlotte, and then Charlotte to Richmond, right? So that Charlotte to Richmond's only like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So they just put you on one of them little hoppers.
Right.
So the flight from Charlotte back to Seattle is also an Airbus. I'm like, I'm sorry, Boeing, until you get your shit together, the closest I want to be to you is when I'm at work next to your plant in Auburn. Like, that's the closest I would, like right next to. I just want to look over and go, yeah, there you are. Hey, don't lose any parts over here.
Yeah.
Try not to drop a wheel on my car on your way out.
These are my famous last words, but I'm like, I'm not too worried.
What's the odds?
Okay. Yeah.
Just like, what are the odds? Dude, do you remember in the 70s? Now, how old are you?
I was born in 81.
81. You don't remember. You won't remember this then. Let me fill you in on what it was like when the DC-10s of the 70s. Oh, anybody wants to check me on this, go Google this. DC-10 airplanes in the 70s were dropping from the sky.
No way, really?
It seemed like it, because there was a wreck in Chicago, I believe, and there was a few more, and it just seemed like they came in clusters,
Yeah.
and just freaked you out. You're just walking around looking up in the sky, hoping a DC-10 doesn't just fall out and hit your school in the middle of recess or something.
Well, those pilots were flying, and they were coming down. Guess what they were screaming? I'm new.
I don't know what to do. Pull the ripcord, Forrest. But yeah, man. So yeah, I'm going back to Virginia to watch my little sister get remarried, and hopefully see some friends and family, and hang out with my mom and my stepdad at least, because they're getting up there, and I don't know how many more opportunities I will get to break bread with them. So I want to take, like I said, I just made a couple phone calls. I'd call my daughter and talk to her. And she's like, "No, Dad, you're good. You should be all right." I was like, "Okay." And call my mom. She's like, "No, I'll be fine. Come on out." I was like, "Okay, cool. As long as these two ladies are okay with it, I'm good, man." So the third lady, I've got multiple ladies. I've got a few sisters, Audrey, Christy, and Maria. Some brothers, James and Robert and John, and some by marriage, some by adoption. But I kind of look at it as like, I'm Billy the Big Brother. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to put stipulations or
you're going to do it, but you're just
it's like you're my sister. I don't care how it came to be.
Right. I
am not going to demote you or promote you.
Based upon
whatever. Like, no, you're all my sisters. I will kick the shit out of anybody that messes with you.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, man, I'm excited because I know she's very happy. So
that's cool.
I'll get to be doing that. Yeah, and thanks for checking out the Water Boys thing though, because we really wanted to show people, and I hope you got the idea that I was telling you, like, the Best Damn Sports Show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, I was so impressed by it. Yes. Yeah.
But you could see, like, you could see our format, and you could see how they ripped us off. Like, you could just see, like,
even at the beginning,
you could just see
the girl there. This the whole thing,
and that was us long before they ever came on the air, man. And it was just sort of like, wow, like they won't hire me; they'll just screw me out of my ideas. Like,
yeah.
Wow, okay. Cool.
Well, I mean, but the craziest thing is that people can't have a normal. Most people can't have a normal idea, original idea, I should say. They see somebody else's thing and then they twist it into their own, and it's like it's just, I feel like that's just human nature. It's unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it is. But when it comes to like, that whole thing is just entertaining. I'm impressed because people that I'm going to paint a visual picture for you guys right now. You see, you want to go by Billy? Say, what do you want to go by?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good. Like, you call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Tattooed arms, just out of his shirt. That he's obviously works out. He's got long hair. He's got a beard. He looks more like a metal guy than you would expect. Anything coming out from him being anything sports related. It's just kind of how it is. And so
I never look like this on the show.
So the posts that he's posting, I'm like seeing a lot of sports stuff, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy because you would expect him to be riding a Harley. And if someone said anything about a sport, you'd be like, those are prima donna athletes. I don't care about that bull crap. Those are just games they're playing. That's not my
actually,
team.
I know a few of them. So, I can tell you different. I've seen what it takes to reach the top of the mountain. Yeah. And there's a reason why there's only so many people on the mountain. But there's only room for so many, and there's only so many that are able to reach that summit. So I know some of them act that way because they've had their asses kissed all their lives, and it's unfortunate that they, like politicians that have worked on the public dole all of their life, never seem to see what the rest of us out here who are providing their income have to deal with and go through to understand how privileged they are to be in the position they are. And you see some of these guys, man, you see they'll come from hard knocks. They see the shit and they're like, yeah, I don't ever want to be like, that. I don't know, man. I think it's just a character thing. I think, you can put 10 guys through the same neighborhood, system, culture, everything, and 6 of them will come out just fine. 2 of them will be kind of arrogant, douchey, and 2 of them will just be absolute shittiest people you've ever met in your life. Right, and they'll probably be the highest paid mother on the of the 10 for some reason. Right, because good guys finish last, as they say. I mean, and in a lot of instances, in competition, in corporate world, it really is true. And like me, I was a nice guy. I was naive. I thought, hey man, they're going to see the talent. They're going to hire me. And no, man, they'll cut your throat. They'll steal your shit, and they'll go and make money off of it and look at you and go get fucked, buddy. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can, but you end up in prison for it. And I'm one of those guys that's like, before my daughter came along, I was just like, buddy, don't think that this option ain't on the table still. But I've grown since then. Thank God. Like I said, praise Jesus. I tell people out there sometimes, there's a list of people out there I should probably send notes to and say, you should call my daughter and tell her thank you.
That's a good point. But here's the thing. Now, this is our second time really hanging out with Billy.
We got a story we got to get to.
But what I'm going to say is he's well thought out. He seems pretty intelligent with the stuff that he's been saying.
I think
he's a sports guy. But even the best of them get got on April Fool's Day.
No, it didn't get me on April Fool's Day. It got me this morning. No, it got me this morning. It got me this morning. No, because look, I posted this morning, dude. I rolled over. I'm seeing that shit on April 3rd. Now, you catch me on the second, I might have been like, wait a minute, when the hell was it? Yeah. But I'm rolling over today, and I'm seeing, and it's popping up. Now, in fairness, though, I should have known if you don't see Adam Schefter, Ian, if I'm not seeing Ian Rappaport, if I'm not seeing their posts, because I get those notifications from those guys, ESPN, all that. Right. I didn't see anything from them. I just saw this DetroitSportsNation.com, but I see Detroit Sports Nation.
Yeah,
seems legit.
Well, here's the thing.
It wasn't a Nigerian prince offering me $14 million, but it seemed legit.
It almost got me too, because I was like, no way.
And what did I say? My first words were, man, like WTF. I'm like, for real. I rolled over and I look at my phone and I just see golf trade commanders for number 2 driver. I went, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, the second thing for me was, so that I looked it up because I'm like, there's no way Goff got
Dude.
traded. But I'm like, that actually kind of makes sense. There's a point to me. I was like, okay,
It's been so insane. You like
Commanders, okay, they kind of like that white quarterback. They
it's
yeah.
like they're firing off CERN again, right? And the Large Hadron Collider
going
is
to.
I know,
April 8th.
on the eclipse.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here going,
Is it already?
these dimension and opening Cthulhu worshiping bastards are over there tinkering.
I
And
thought
like
already.
we got the
They're
Detroit
fired.
Lions over here. We're just gonna trade away our NFC Conference Championship.
The crazy
game
thing was
quarterback.
I thought the same thing, and I was like, I thought CERN too. I'm like, dude, they're just doing a practice run right now. They're like you would start the car up a little bit, but
Right.
for the drive, but you're like gonna just check, you're checking the oil right now.
Right.
But the thing is
The trail run.
I saw Carson Wentz get signed on as the backup to Patrick Mahomes, and I'm like, that's an April Fool. No, that's real.
actually happened.
And then I was like, okay, CERN is getting activated. Right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, God help us with that. That's just
It makes no sense to get Carson Wentz as
I
the
mean,
backup.
so the CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. Just on that note, that's I think did we talk about this last time?
I don't know.
It's a 27-kilometer
Massive.
loop, right,
Yeah.
outside of Geneva. Isn't it interesting? Davos, the World Economic Forum,
All there.
basically the gates of hell are right there in
there.
Geneva, Switzerland, folks. Right there with the Geneva Convention and all that shit. Like,
Great cheese and great chocolate.
well, sure, and I hear Amsterdam's pretty hopping too if you hit the right, lighted district. But yeah, the Hadron Collider's 27 kilometers in circumference, right? And I mean, that's pretty freaking huge. But far be it from the arrogance of man, especially devil worshiping ones that want to open a fucking portal for Cthulhu to drive his monster truck through. They want to build 100-kilometer.
That's crazy.
And here's the other thing, folks, is particle acceleration. This smashing particle stuff. That's the big one. Is Geneva, is CERN, but they're doing it in other places. And I always like to remind myself and others that whatever the mind hath thought, man hath wrought. You can think of like, man, what would it be like, this, that. They're already doing it. Whatever is fathomable, possible, achievable, they're going to try it.
Yeah.
It might be reverse engineering from something that fell out of the sky, or it might just be the never-ending hubris of the human condition. We must always strive to not meet God, but to replace God.
Right.
And we're, excuse my language, folks, but we're fucking with things here when we start smashing particles larger. We're just opening a little black hole. Okay, well, what size of a black hole would it take for it to just reach a point like, oh, you lost control and it just grew from there? I mean, so you open a black hole in your shit there in Geneva, and all of a sudden the Earth just gets swallowed up 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
Because the black hole just grew and just grew and just grew, and then soon it just consumed the Earth and everything.
Nuts.
And now it's pulling the whole solar system into it.
Yeah.
Like, is this how it all ends, really? But yeah, man, that shit's crazy. And they're wanting to do this stuff on an eclipse. There's so much occult stuff going on. Man, we're going to go down this fucking political, occult, Alex Jones rabbit hole if we're not careful. But man, there's so much occult stuff going on out there. Like the CERN people, did you see where they did the satanic ritual before they fired up the collider the last time? And they just said they were joking. They did a dance. They did the whole, I mean, man, besides the baby,
right.
Cut open on the altar there, they pretty much had the whole damn show down.
Right.
I was like, wow, okay, yeah, haha, funny yoke, haha. Yeah, sure. Yeah, bullshit, man, it's just crazy.
Speaking of crazy, let's get to that story.
Yeah, about
we will go down that rabbit hole.
Speaking of the devil,
So we left off on a cliffhanger last time, guys.
Yes,
Just a
sir, we
reminder
did.
for everyone that we kind of went through the early stages of him moving over first over to South LA and then into Arizona.
Yeah.
And then and through that, making friends with club owners and living the lifestyle and musicians and into the heavy metal or the metal
strippers.
era. And then he said, by the way, you can Google this if you want, but there was a show that was canceled by Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses.
Well, he didn't cancel it.
He was in the hospital.
Yeah, he didn't cancel shit.
And I had something to do with that, and that was the cliffhanger. So feel free to.
Now, let me ask you: Did you research this at all?
I did not, because I don't want to have any spoilers.
Okay. All right. No, I just and I'm hoping some of the listeners out there will, because if you need to fact check me, by all means, please do. I may get, a slight thing wrong because it's been 36 years. But just, bear with the old man who's not smoked a lot of weed in his life. So when like I said, Phoenix, I won't go back too far, but I had worked as a roofer for a week in June in Phoenix. Yes. I took that paycheck. My friend Jay and his girlfriend Gina. Jay was going to school at Phoenix Institute of Technology. He had spent the money his mom gave him, like $5,000. He had blown it on coke. It was easy to do. We were getting all that Pablo Escobar shit coming into Arizona. But Jay was freaking out because he didn't have money for tuition. He didn't have money for rent. He's getting ready to kick out of his apartment. So I come along. I said, look, man, I got this paycheck. Why don't you go to your friend, this long dark-haired guy named Mark. There's always those one little low-level, just white dudes, that are selling coke. He's like the rock and roll scene dude. He's the guy that knows somebody. So, we work our way through him. And this other guy, I'm trying to remember, Stu. I think Stuart was his name. I think his name was Stuart. But anyhow, Stuart, very wealthy man, lived in a condo right down the road from our apartment, drove an Excalibur. You know what an Excalibur is? It's one of those old English cars. This is stylish ones from the 40s. It's got the pipes coming off of it. That's the lonely gate. It's a hey cops, look at me kind of car. Perfect for a big drug dealer. Anyhow, this is the first guy I ever saw that had cameras at his door and all over the place, like security cameras. And up in his room, he had multiple video screens that he could watch everything. And first guy I ever saw take an ounce of cocaine, put it in a big old mason jar, like a mayonnaise jar, whatever, big old mason jar, and rock up 1 ounce of cocaine into a crack rock so he could sit there and smoke it. And I've done some serious drugs with some serious people in my days, boy. But I tell you what, some of these guys, man, they were major league. This guy, when you walked into his place, the first thing you notice as you walk into his hallway, there's a plaque hanging on the wall to the left, a big old gold disc on it, picture of the Live Aid concert. You remember the Live Aid concert that happened? Well, you're a baby. You were just born. Anyhow, you look it up. There was a Live Aid concert. It was Bob Geldof from the Boomtown Rats. Anyhow, there's the gold album and whatever, and this writing on it that's thanking him for donating $100,000 to help them put on the show.
Wow.
This is in the 80s. So you can imagine $100,000 nowadays, probably equivalent to 400, 500,000. Right. I don't know what the rate of inflation still right now. It's probably worth like $1 billion, trillion, quadrillion dollars or something. But just fascinated by this guy, but just screaming bust waiting to happen. And paranoid. Boy, was he paranoid. But anyhow, so, I bought this, I took this paycheck and I gave it to Jay and he went to Mark and we got that from Mark. And then we moved just a couple of times so fast. I broke it up. I said, we're not doing any, Jay. I sold the first one. I told you this. We bought groceries because there was no food in the house. Right. So get some fucking food in here, man. We got to eat. Sold some more. I said, how much is your rent? As soon as we had the rent up, go pay your rent, man. We need a place.
Right.
So now he's all right, because he's seeing because I come in with this business mind of dude, we can get high later on, but right now let's make money.
Yeah, work hard.
So we just turn it, and we turn it, and we turn it. And Jay's hanging out with his girlfriend Gina, so he's not very sociable. He's not going out to the clubs and the pool halls and the bars and all this shit and strip clubs and everything like I am. And I'm hanging out with our mutual friends, and also we're just young as we're going out to the desert parties and the house parties and just the rock clubs and everything. And I'm meeting tons of people, and I'm me. You drop a hit of acid in my tongue at your party, dude, and you've got entertainment the whole fucking night. cost you a $5 hit of acid, and you just entertain the masses. So combine all of this, and we just start rolling, man. We're just rocking. And so pretty soon, dude wants to meet us. So we go meet him. So time goes on. I meet this other singer. He and I hit it off. We become good friends. He introduced me to this little friend of his. I don't know where he knows him from, like a club or hall or something. But his name's Tracy. I won't tell you his last name. But Tracy was Mexican, and his uncle was Mexican Mafia, lived in South Phoenix, and was a cousin, I don't know, for second, third, I don't know, but a cousin or something removed, cousin twice removed, I don't know, but some sort of family relation to Pablo Escobar. Wow. This is 1987. Yeah, this is 1987 going into 88. Okay.
I'm playing T-ball. I'm playing T-ball.
Okay, you're playing T-ball, yeah. and I'm dealing with Mexican Mafia people for quarter pounds of coke. So cool. So almost the same. Almost the same. Yeah, I mean, it's really similar, dude. I'm surprised we didn't meet. But probably went to the same church. But anyhow, we get to the point where we're just rocking. Then all of a sudden we meet this other guy, Mark, who's affiliated with 81. If anyone that doesn't know what 81 is, that's code. That's gangster code for HA, which is also gangster code for Hell's Angels. No, it's HA. It's for ha ha ha. That's it. It's for Hell's Angels. But anyhow, HA wasn't really in Arizona and Phoenix at that time, but they had their fingers dabbling, right? Because it was the Dirty Dozen. Yeah, it was pretty much Dirty Dozen there in Phoenix at that time. They ended up being offered to patch over, so they became HA. And then the guys that didn't want, I don't know what they did. They moved on. But when HA moves in, you got two choices. You fuck off or get prepared, ready for war. Anyhow, but I was there as HA was just, Sonny hadn't made his way into Cave Creek and shit yet. So we're just young kids, dude. We're 20. Like I said, folks, don't get me wrong here. I'm 20 years old, right. Man. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. Now I'm on the West Coast, or Arizona. This sweet little honor roll student, nice little idyllic life, more or less, growing up in Virginia. Riding your bike, hanging out with your friends, building forts, smoking cigarettes, and going to the skating rink, and just normal kid stuff. All of a sudden, I'm sitting here and I'm making, I'm making some thick stack deals with high tensions in the room, and just a whole lot of crazy shit. But we turned, I don't want to give an exact number, but in the 14 or so months that we did it, let's just say, somewhere in that ballpark of what I said inflation probably was.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah. Some money.
Yeah. So
zeros.
So yeah, for two 20-year-old kids just screwing around.
Sure.
Pretty much. I mean, unfortunately, right when I thought about getting serious, everything went shit because a friend of ours tried to make unpermitted. He wanted to get in with the big boys, and the little puppy was tired of sitting on the porch watching the big dogs run around. So he thought he would run off and go chase a bone on his own, and he fucked up. He stepped in it and made a deal with the undercover DA.
Oh wow!
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you a story.
That's a cliffhanger.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you a story about how we got out of that mess. I could just say the Phoenix DEA had. They probably threw darts at my fucking picture. At least their lead guy did. And I'll tell you, like I said, I don't want to go into much detail on that. That's a story for another time. That's absolutely fascinating. But I had fucked a DEA sergeant hard. We got out of Arizona. We got a free pass out because of it. But like I said, it's a great story. I'll save for another time. Anyhow, so we're doing really well. Here comes February. Now, February 12th is significant. February 12th of 1988 is significant for one reason. It is exactly 1 week prior to my 21st birthday. So we've been given tickets. The Guns N' Roses coming to town. Guns N' Roses is the biggest
Has to be.
fucking band in the world at this time right now. Welcome to the Jungle is the anthem. You know what I mean? Like it's Guns N' Roses, man. It's their world, and we're all just living in it. You know, just doing the snake dance. And we got tickets to the 12th and tickets for the 14th because the Guns was there. They're coming to Phoenix for the weekend. They're going to play Friday and Sunday. Take Saturday off. So now we got this friend Donnie. Donnie's crazy. Donnie's nuttier than a sperm bank. He used to do squirrel shit, but I'm like, no, I got a better one. It's been nuttier than a sperm bank. And so anyhow, Donnie is just the lights were on, but they were flickering. It's just, but he was a hustler. Donnie was a hustler. And so Donnie would go out and do all kinds of stuff to try to make money. One of those things was driving a limo. He would just be a freelance limo driver, right? Hang out at the airport or whatever places, you know, and basically he's available for people who wanted a ride without a lot of, you know what I mean? Just tool me around, chauffeur me around, and do my stuff, but I don't want a whole lot of attention drawn. So Donnie pulls up to our townhouse. We got a nice little townhouse, private community up in North Phoenix. And he pulls in, I want to say 11:30ish or so, if I'm remembering correctly. Remember, we had a rule with everybody. When the bars close, so are we. Right? So if you wanted your yayo, you come to us before the bars close.
Gotcha.
Once the bars close 2:00, sorry, we don't rock. So, you know, see you in the morning. Anyhow, he rolls up about 11:30 or so. Comes in, he's Nicky. Dude, you're never going to believe who's out in my car right now, but bro, I know you want to meet him, but you can't go out there. If you do, you're going to ruin this for me. He goes, brother, you're never going to believe who the fuck's in my car. And this is Saturday, February 13th, 1988. And I go, who, Donnie? And I'm like, and Donnie, he's a psycho fuck, but he's not a bullshitter. Mm-hmm. And well, he could be a bullshitter, but in instances like this, you just knew Donnie. He wasn't bullshitting. He goes, dude, Axl Rose is sitting in the back of my fucking limousine right now, and he wants to do some fucking shit. He wants to do a speedball. So he asked me, where's the best Coke in H in town? I told him I know where the best yayo is. He goes, but I got to make some calls on the other stuff. And I said, so you came here? He goes, fuck yeah. I was like, good boy. No, we were, man. That's why when we really did build a reputation, that's why we made so much money, because we didn't fuck with people. Like we sold people what we'd want to be sold.
Yeah.
You know, you do good business, you do business right. Man, I don't care what product you're selling. If you do business right, you will succeed. It's when you start fucking people over, start cutting, start, you know, trying to trim this and get over on that. No, man. Or, you know, subpar product. No. I tell people, it's like when I grew weed, man, if I won't smoke it, I won't sell it. You know, it's just that simple. I'm not going to sell you shit going, oh, well, I got to get my money back. No, if I fucked it up, that's on me. But if I can't smoke it, man, I'm not going to. Now, somebody says, dude, I'll take it, or I'll give you $20 for that. You know, like, sure, here, take the bail. Just get this crap out of here. But I'm not, you know, I'm not going to try to get over on people. I have integrity, and I have an honor system about myself, man. I want to be able to look myself in the mirror and know that I'm a decent human being, that I haven't fucked over people for my own gain. So anyhow, I stand there and I'm just like, dude, go out there and take, you know, go get him and tell him to come the fuck in here, man. Come on, do a line with him. Fucking like, no, Nicky, he doesn't want to. Seriously, man, he's not gonna come in. You got, dude, really? So you're telling me the biggest fucking singer of the biggest fucking metal band
away from you right
in
now.
the fucking world is literally right outside my fucking door right now, and I can't go talk to him? Yeah, Nicky, I'm sorry, because I knew I shouldn't have told you, man. I'm like, bro. He's like, Nicky, please don't ruin this sale for me. I'm like, because you know he's paying Donnie to drive him around, as well as get this. So Donnie's going to make money on this.
Yeah, and
I get it. You know, and I know Donnie's a hustler, so I ain't trying to unhustle Donnie's hustle. So I'm like, fuck. To this day, it bugs me, dude, because I'm like, I should have just ran out there and go, get your redheaded bitch ass in here. What the fuck you think you doing? You gonna hang out in a limousine in my driveway? Get the fuck in here, Axel.
Right.
Stop being a dick. I gotta have some words with you, son. I'm gonna give you some advice. No, he and I are about the same age. So anyhow, but he took the 8-ball and took off. Didn't think anything of it. And Jay and I were just sitting there,
Yeah.
fucking damn it, we should have had him. We're just like, man, fuck. So that's Sunday. We got the show. We got some friends. We're like, here, you guys take the tickets, man. We saw them Friday. We're good, right? And so remember, my birthday is coming up on the 19th, so literally the following Friday. So this is Sunday, the 14th, Valentine's Day. It's called the Valentine's Day Massacre, Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, Arizona. Guy comes out, says, folks, we're sorry to inform you that Guns N' Roses won't be playing tonight. Axl is in the hospital. And the crowd commenced to destroy that place.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they just went ape shit. So our friends come back and they're like, dude, the show didn't go off. Axl's in the hospital, man. They say he overdosed or some shit. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, man. They're like, Axl's in the hospital, man. He said he overdosed and yeah, man, they don't know if he's gonna make it or not. And I'm like, oh, wow. And I look over at Jay and I'm like, fuck. And so Jay and I, we go have basically a board meeting amongst me, him, and Gina, and the only people that know. Oh, and then I think Donnie came around and we dragged his ass in the room and we had the talk of this goes to the fucking grave with us, man. Right. Like we don't, until it's some opportune moment, like a podcast in Enum, Washington in 2024 comes along, we will keep this secret with us, at all costs. But no, Jay, like I said, Jay's passed away, so he won't have to do time if anybody comes to get me for this. So he got away, he got off. But no, anyhow, we were like, oh shit. And so back then, there was this thing called MTV, kids. It was music television. They used to play videos, music videos on there where the musicians would actually, kids, I know you're going to think this is crazy shit, but the musicians would actually do like little movies to their songs.
Like 3-minute movies?
And then they were like just little insights into who they were as people, And and then we would sit there and we would just watch them back to back. And sometimes they would play the same video again a couple hours later, whether you liked it or not. Like Angel by Aerosmith. I hope I never see that fucking video ever again. But yeah, so anyhow, there's this guy on there. And there was this magazine called Rolling Stone back before they decided to stick their dicks into the political pussy of things. They used to write about musicians and bands, and they didn't have a bunch of woke, retarded fucking takes on everything. And there was the one guy who was their lead dude, editor, whatever. His name was Kurt Loder. Kurt Loder was asked to do this thing on MTV called MTV News. Okay, so now that you've got the backstory, let me fill you in. As we're sitting in our townhouse in North Phoenix on February, this must have been it was either that Monday or Tuesday. It's always a couple of days after I hear it when it happened. Yeah. Like with Andy Woods dying, I heard the day that literally within minutes after he was reported being found. I heard about it. I got a call in Phoenix from my friend Jay, who lived up here, because Andy was one of the first musician friends I ever made up here. I was working at the Sam Goody's Musicland store at 3rd and Pike, which is now a Starbucks. I know, shocking. But anyhow, Kurt Loder comes on MTV News. Says a bit of what is this? If I'm wording it, I'm paraphrasing here, folks, so bear with me. Like I said, it's been a number of years. Some sad news or some unfortunate news out of Arizona. It seems the lead singer Axl Rose for the band Guns N' Roses is in a local area hospital recovering from a drug overdose. And we're like, okay, he's recovering.
Recovering's the key word there. Yeah,
dude, like me and him both are just like, dude, if this fucking guy dies,
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that shit's weighing on us. Like,
Yeah.
we're not only fans of him and his music, but we're fans of human beings not dying from our fucking dope. You know? Like, we're fans of not getting porked out in a prison cell.
We're a big fan.
But, you know, big fans of like that. Like, my virgin asshole, I'm a big fan of
Super
that
fan.
thing, dude. Like, you can't overstate it. But anyhow, yeah, man, we almost killed Axl Rose.
Wow.
Just, like I said, you know, it wasn't intentional or anything. And if there was anybody who I was going to intentionally kill, it would have been Vince Neil. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sure Vince is still a douchebag, but I'm just still. Yeah, you know, that was the times, man. But shit.
So everyone. So then all of a sudden, when do you remember hearing that he was being released?
Okay, thank you for that, because you jogged my memory on what I was going to remember. So I said, remember that significance of February 12th is literally 1 week away from my what?
Birthday, 21st.
21st birthday.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And Jay and I have oodles of money, including Axl's. Shit, we might have been using. In fact, that's what I'm going to tell people. I used Axl Rose's money on my 21st birthday party. Yeah. I'll tell that to my grandchildren someday. Son, come here. Let me tell you a story.
What's this podcast?
Let me tell you. We go to this nice restaurant right down the street from it. It's on the other side of the freeway, the I-17 there. It runs through Phoenix. It's a nice-ass restaurant, though, down off, I think it was Thunderbird, because we lived off of Thunderbird, just to the east of the freeway. Restaurants over to the west of the freeway on Thunderbird. Anyhow, people that in Phoenix know what I'm talking about. We go over to this restaurant, and it's a restaurant where you have to have reservations because it's packed. It's a nice restaurant. So we go in, we've got reservations because we knew we were coming for this event on Friday, the 19th. And man, to this day, guys, don't ever give women shit about going to the bathroom together, because I'm going to tell you why. I came about this close, and anybody, for you people in radio and podcast land, I'm holding my fingers really close together. Sorry, I'm going Joe Biden on you here. But we're sitting in the booth, so we come in, you know, concierge. We come in, walk in. There's to the left, go back to the restrooms, some tables over there, whatever. Turn to the right, and there's booths and whatever. So we turn to the right and go, and we're sitting in our booth. Jay says, I got to use the restroom. Okay. He gets up and he goes to the bathroom. He comes back a few minutes later. He sits down and he's shaking his head. And he goes, fuck. I go, what? He goes, it couldn't have been him. I go, what? He goes, dude, I think I just saw Slash. And I go, are you sure? He goes, it had to be him. Nobody's got hair like that, man. Yeah. And he gets up, and I'm like, I get up too, and we both go running. And we're like, and he was like, he was right there at the front desk. And apparently they've been told, you need a reservation. And they probably asked. So they're like, nah, fuck it. And I'm like, see, Jay, he ain't think nothing. Jay's the kind of guy, he'd just be like, nah, I'm just go back to my table and sit down. And doubt. Me, I'm a whole different animal. Yeah. I'm gonna find out, are you Slash or are you somebody that looks like Slash? And because if you Slash, guess what? It's my 21st birthday, bro. You and your hot, he was with some hot ass chick. I'm like, bro, you and your hot ass chick are partying with me on my 21st birthday, man. Right. Here, let me tell you why you're stuck here in Phoenix. Like, please don't hate me. Drinks and dinner on me, bro. Yeah. Come on, Saul. We're good? Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Hey, man, I didn't twist his arm. He just wanted the best shit in town. He wanted the best Coke. We just happened to have it. Slash would have probably been like, shit, you got any more? But yeah, man, it was that close to partying with Slash on my 21st birthday. And so to this day, I wish I had gotten up and gone to the bathroom with my friend like the girls do. All that manly shit, man, cost me an opportunity. Think about that, man. One little gay moment of like, just let's go to the bathroom together.
How can you now? Anytime a guy, a friend of yours, goes to the bathroom, like, hey, can I join?
Dude,
just in case,
right? Can I just gaze? I haven't meat gazed in a while, man.
Is that weird? Did I just make that weird?
I just there are some people out there, man. But yeah, that's a
crazy story. That is probably one of the most craziest stories. I see the whole time I'm sitting there as you're telling it. I'm like, dude, I don't know much. Granted, I'm playing t-ball during this time, and so I'm like, did Axl Rose? Is he still alive now?
Yes. Yeah, he's absolutely. And Guns N' Roses is doing very well. Axl looks great. A little heavier, don't we all?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. He looks like he aged weird to me. Like he just doesn't look like how I pictured Axl Rose looking.
Well,
but I mean, because Slash still looks like Slash, he just looks, a little chunkier because there's not as much alcohol and drugs and
right.
The lifestyle of the starving artist kind of lifestyle, and when we're young, shit, like it wouldn't have mattered, man, if we didn't party, if we just ate all the time. When you're 20, 21 years old, your metabolism burns like a rabbit,
right.
You're like a little hamster in a wheel. So, yeah, I don't know. Axl he just doesn't look the way I pictured him getting older, but, I'll tell you another story on Axl Rose before we cut out for the night. So I got a friend, Juan, in Denver, and so I'll get into more stories. Later on, I went back to my Mexico stories. This is after I'd moved up to Seattle and then moved back to Phoenix. I started going back to my source for Yayo, started moving. We got So me and a guy, a buddy I was working with at the gym, I got a job at Bally's US Swim Fitness. And me and the guy I met there was a coworker. We started talking, and we knew a member of the club who was a businessman who said, I got some friends back in New York with a lot of vowels in their names that said if they loan us 10 grand, we can pay them back 15 grand in 7 days. Should we do it? Should I do it? And they both looked at me and I went, yeah. And so I called my friend in Wyoming. And so next thing I know, I've got a pound of Coke and 5 pounds of weed 2 pounds of Coke and 5 pounds of weed in the back of a rental van. And we're on our way up to Rock Springs, Wyoming, where I, in 3 months' time, made $80,000 in fucking profit for the three of us. All right. And so during that time I met some, there's the club that my friend was working. He was a DJ for the strip club. Now in Rock Springs, there's this club there, and it's you walk in to this little foyer area, and then to the left is the strip club and a bar, and then to the right is the rock and roll band and bar. And bands would come from Minnesota and Dakotas and whatever and come through there, travel through there. And the strippers would come up from Fort Collins and Denver and, wherever, Utah, what have you. And they would come there and work, stay there for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever. And so I met this guy, Juan, and his girlfriend, Sue. And they live in Denver. So I end up going to Denver, hanging out with them. Juan wins some tickets and shit. Got to go and meet Iron Maiden backstage. Got to see Ozzy with Testament and Ozzy with Zach when Zach was brand new with them. But the best one was when I flew in. He said, hey, man, I got this ticket. My friend can't make it. We're going to go see Guns N' Roses at Mile High Stadium. Cool. Right on. So we go to Mile High, and I'm up in the stands looking down. I'm to the right of the stage. Okay, but about middle of the stadium, but I'm up. Anyhow, Axl comes on. They do and folks, you can go look this up. This is 92, I believe. I think I think they're in Denver at Mile High 92. I want to say this is 92.
Little League. Okay. Little League. Okay.
And anyhow, it's Mile High Stadium, so anybody wants to check it out. And this is the scene that happened. So anybody that was there can verify this, and anybody wants to go look it up if there's a documentation of it, that would be funny. They come on, and I'm trying to remember. I think they're with Metallica. I think that's who they were with on this tour. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. But they come out and they play like a song and a half, 2.5 songs, not many. I think somebody threw something. And it was whizzed by Axel or something, and it pissed him off.
He's done.
But Axel was always temperamental, dude. Axel was always very volatile, prima donna, just fucking prom queen kind of bullshit. And it pissed me off because I hated that. I'm just like, you've got the fucking world in the palm of your hand. You've got everything that us dudes out here in the crowd watching you want, man. We want to be on that stage, holding that microphone, singing those songs, and watching the crowd vibe that energy with us, man, and just linking up. And just knowing I'm getting paid for this.
Yeah.
Dude, this is Nirvana, bro. This is not the band. I'm talking the level. Right. This is it, right? And you're standing up here acting like the world owes you any fucking thing. Bro, you were slamming heroin, living in a shithole. And you guys are rich kids. You guys all had money. You think y'all were roughing it. Try being us poor kids that were living in Hollywood and Phoenix and Seattle and shit that didn't have all that money. That wanted to just one chance. Somebody hear me, dude. Just let me show you what I can do, right? And so it just always pissed me off, that kind of, the arrogance. Dude, you're no better than me. The only reason you are doing what you're doing is because of fuckers like me, willing to spend our money on fuckers like you. Know your place, boy. You know what I mean? Know your place. If we ain't paying for your shit, you ain't shit. So stop thinking you're better than the fans that make you.
Right.
You are not. You are the fans. Right. The fans are what make you. Otherwise, you're just another nobody swinging dick out here, hoping somebody will listen to you at a fucking karaoke bar. So his attitude always sort of rubbed me the wrong way. And, and I mean, granted, I'm standing in the crowd here, and in the back of mine, I'm thinking to myself, you almost killed this motherfucker.
Right.
You shouldn't have given him a good coke. You should have stepped on that shit. But he comes out, and he's pissed off, and he leaves. So Duff, and this might have been the Velvet Revolver shit beginnings, because Duff and Slash come back out with Izzy, and they start playing some shit, and it sounds like new material. I think it ends up becoming Velvet Revolver material that they use with Scott Weiland later on. But anyhow, they're looking around like, what the fuck's going on, right? And they go back, and then they come out and they start playing that shit, and it's raw, it's new, it's not going over.
Yeah.
And everybody's in the crowd just standing and looking at each other like, what the fuck is this? Are we supposed to know the words? Did you hand out a memo,
right.
pamphlet? And so they realize wow, this is really awkward. And so they go backstage. Now, this is all in the course of a few minutes. So they go backstage, it's gotten quiet. They've been backstage for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. It doesn't seem like very long, but when you're standing somewhere waiting for something, 2 minutes can seem like 20.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's enough time to where the murmuring in the crowd dies down a little bit. And I swear, I hope somebody out there has a recording of this, because I would pay money to get a copy of it. Me and my boisterous, loud voice up there in the mid part of the stadium, up many levels of stairs there at Mile High, knowing the acoustics and resonance of that place, because I've been out to Red Rocks. Oh God, if I could ever play with a band at Red Rocks Theater. Oh, I stood on that stage one night, man, and just sang, just me a cappella, and it was like just to hear your voice just ring. It's like, oh, it's magic. But anyhow, I looked down, place got quiet. I've done this twice, 2 different concerts. A Kiss concert in Tacoma when the roof caught on fire. that concert in '96 when they did that. If anybody's got a recording of that, when you hear somebody start singing "The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire," and the crowd starts singing, back. That was me. I orchestrated that one. But no, I'm standing there at Mile High, dude, and I just yell down, "Where the fuck is Axl Rose?" And brother, it was like somebody lit a match to a fuse. I probably came about 3 breaths away from starting a fucking riot because the crowd started murmuring, "Yeah, where is he? Yeah, what the fuck?" All of a sudden, everybody's going, "Where's Axl? Where the fuck? Hey," and you hear people, "I want my money." Moments later, the whole fucking band comes out and the music starts back up again. Because I think somebody in the back said, "Bro, this is about to get real nasty."
Yeah.
Because it was calm. It was real. I mean, you could hear a fucking mouse fart. And I just perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
My loud was, "Where the fuck is Axl Rose?" And my friend stood next to me. He goes, "Fuck, Nikki, you almost started a riot, dude." I go, "Dude, I know, right?" I'm just sorry.
Yeah.
"Sorry, Denver. My bad."
Yeah.
Yeah, I got history in Denver. It's crazy, man. As much as I don't think about it very often, I've actually got history in Denver. I told my brother-in-law. Didn't you bring his picture up, Tim DeFrisco? Was that you or somebody else?
But it's someone else.
Yeah, my ex-brother. Like I told you, the one thing that I really miss from my marriage, most of all, is my ex-brother.
That's what you said last time.
Yeah, man, Tim. Yeah, because he and I got along famously, man. But he's another Denver guy. But yeah, like I said, I got a lot of history there in Denver. It's crazy as much time as I spent there. I don't really think about it, but yeah. Yeah, it's been one hell of a rock and roll life.
Yeah. Well, we've got chapter 2 in the books.
Yeah. There you go, folks. That's the Axl Rose. I hope it wasn't too boring.
No, it was pretty interesting. Sometimes you just kind of got to let you just. You're a storyteller for sure. You can just.
I can roll.
Just roll for sure. So we end our episodes. We got the cliffhanger for the DA in Phoenix. So that's our next one. Next cliffhanger.
Yes.
But,
yeah. Oh man, that's. Whew.
But then, but we've got our shout outs at the moment to end the episode. Shit out if you want. But I'm going to shout out my mom. She's turning 72 today, April 3rd. She's
happy
70
birthday.
years old. Yeah, super excited. We're going to spend some time with her this weekend. And then
Sweet.
also my wife and I are taking my dad and my mom to Vegas, believe it or not. That's where I like to vacation. So
no, I don't blame you.
No one else is surprised by this. And so we're heading out there in a couple weeks and going to spend some time down there. So catch some sun and some food and gamble a little bit.
You know where you're staying?
Venetian.
Oh, the Venetian. Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I got Vegas history too. Shit, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I got so much history, dude.
I'm excited for it. Yeah.
I'm like a cable channel, man. So much history.
So what do you shout outs?
Shout outs. Shoot. No. One of the guys at work gave me shit because I didn't get it to him. I was like, "But dude, I promise next time I'll get it." So let me give a shout out to all the guys at the Safeway Distribution Center down there, all the truck drivers that get the groceries to your local Albertsons and Safeways and Vons and what have you. To all the fellas in the shop there, I started off with the supervisor, Tyler Grant, John Chapman, the foreman, and then Adana, our office gal, and all the mechanics. Let's see, Corey, Adrian, Julian.
Lots of shout outs.
What's his name? Jerry, Big John, and Cherrick. And then, of course, all of my Teamster brothers there. Lucas and David and Roderick and Armando. And yeah, we're the guys that hold it down for you here in Safeway, Washington.
Safeway Land. Oh, I
Safeway
like
Land.
it. We got to talk. We'll talk off air about that
Absolutely.
a little bit. But,
and shout out to the Grace Point Church over here. To the people that may listen to this. God bless every one of you, man. You got a great thing going there, and I hope it continues to grow.
Right on. All right, everyone.
Praise God.
Thanks for listening. Have a great week, and we'll hit it up here in a few weeks again. And
yes,
and
I hope so.
Keep doing this.
Yeah.
So
and please feedback, folks. If you got anything to say, I mean, positive, constructive, or whatever, that's great. If it's negative, and I did a public access show for 10 years, and trust me, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
I've been called many names.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have many, and I've been called many.
Yeah. So, leave a review.
But
let us know. Talk to us. Message us on Facebook. Find us.
And I love the following you have, dude. Like, you've got a serious...
Yeah, I got a little cool.
Serious audience of like, it seems like you've been, like, I did my research on you too. It looks like you've been around a minute, like doing this. So you're not just, you're not just cutting your teeth for sure. You've been in it for a minute. So.
Been in it for a minute. I like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Have. And, every day it's always like, should I hang them up or should I keep
No, dude,
it
I
going?
love this. No, I love this.
Yeah,
and we need more of this. We need more individual solo voices out here just doing a thing, talking about whatever, man. But, even on a show like this, man, where we could talk, we could still come in here and throw down some, like, we could go Joe Rogan on one of these episodes, man, where I just break down some shit on the political landscape that'll just be like, just blowing people's minds, But, because I remember, I'm old enough to remember when we didn't trust the government or Big Pharma. But, I mean, that was a long time ago. It was like 5 years ago or something.
Oh man, we definitely get into it. We got a long time running guest right now. So anyway, everyone, thanks so much for listening. Have a great week. Thanks again for being on,
Absolutely,
Billy.
man. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care, everyone.
Peace, everyone.
Welcome to the greatest of the greatest, a podcast that you never knew you needed, with interviews from people you have never met, or maybe you have once or twice, asking questions and knowing more than you want to know about them.